What we call kata in Nigeria is called flu in South Africa. Hi, my name is Choma Gloria. I'm a biomedical technologist and I manage a fashion business. So if it's your first time coming across this channel, you are highly welcome. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also give the video a thumbs up. Yeah. And for the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. You are highly welcome. So on this channel, I talk about my experience in South Africa and other great and exciting topics. So stay tuned and enjoy. In this video, I will be talking about things we call differently. I mean Nigeria and South Africa, things we call differently. Yeah, so if it's the first time in South Africa, or you're planning to visit, or you just want to learn names things are called in South Africa, this video is for you. The first one I will be talking about is what we call foodstuff in Nigeria. It's called glossary here in South Africa. So in Nigeria we say, I'm going to the supermarket to get some foodstuff. The next one I will be talking about is the trouser. So in Nigeria, what we call trouser in Nigeria is mostly called pants here in South Africa. So in Nigeria we say, I want to get some trousers for my son. But here in South Africa we say, I want to get some pants for my son. So it's called pants mostly here in South Africa, and in Nigeria it's called trouser. Another one I will be talking about is what we call kata in Nigeria. That's the running nose or cold. Is called flu here in South Africa. So in Nigeria we call it kata, and in South Africa we call it flu. So if you are new here, or you just want to know, or you are planning to visit here in South Africa, you can just go to a pharmacy or chemist and say I want a medication for kata. No one will understand what you're saying. But when you say I want a medication, I want a flu medication, they will quickly understand what you're saying. So yeah, it's called flu, and in Nigeria it's called kata. The next one I will be talking about is plastic. So in Nigeria we call it nylon bag, but here in South Africa it's called plastic bag. So that's a bag they used to wrap something when you get something in a mall or in a supermarket. It's called plastic bag here in South Africa, but in Nigeria it's called nylon bag. Yeah. And another one I will be talking about is what we call attachment in Nigeria. It's called hairpiece here in South Africa. So attachment or hairpiece is that one we use to make our hair, to braid our hair. So here in South Africa it's called hairpiece, or in Nigeria it's called attachment. I don't really know why we call it attachment in Nigeria. I don't know, but I know we call it attachment. But here in South Africa it is called hairpiece. So if you go to a salon here in South Africa, you can just say, I want to braid my hair with hairpiece. Yeah, you can just say attachment, because no one will understand what you are saying. So it's called hairpiece. Yeah. The other one I will be talking about is what we call groundnut oil in Nigeria. It's called vegetable oil here in South Africa. So if you've not watched the video, the one I talked about some of my embarrassing moments in South Africa, I think you should watch that video. I'll put it on the description section for you to watch. I talked about some of my embarrassing moments, the plastic bag incident and the vegetable oil incident. So you should watch that video. Yeah, so we call it groundnut oil in Nigeria, but here in South Africa it is called vegetable oil. And the next one I will be talking about is what we call motor park or garage in Nigeria. Is called taxi rank here in South Africa. So in Nigeria everyone calls it the motor park, or some they say it's a garage, but here in South Africa it is called taxi rank. Another one I will be talking about is that thing we say, hey, yeah, in Nigeria. Maybe when someone is telling us something and we feel pity for that person or empathy, we say, hey, yeah. It's called shame here in South Africa. So when you hear someone says shame, just know it's that same thing, that thing we do when we say, hey, yeah. we feel empathy or pity for someone. We say, hey, yeah. It's called shame here in South Africa. So when you see someone say shame, don't think the person is saying shame on you. It's not that shame. It's not that type of shame. So it simply means the same thing when we say hey, yeah, and when someone in South Africa says shame. And the other one I will be talking about is what we call boys' quarter in Nigeria. It's called granny flat or cottage here in South Africa. So most people they call it cottage, some they call it the granny flat, but in Nigeria it is called boys' quarter. I don't really know why we call it boys' quarter though. But here in South Africa, it is called cottage or granny flat. And the other one I will be talking about is what we call petrol station in Nigeria. It's called garage here in South Africa. And what we call traffic light in Nigeria is mostly called robot here in South Africa. And then the other one I will be talking about is pepper. So in Nigeria, what we call pepper is called chili here in South Africa. So pepper is when we make our food spicy. That thing we use to make our food spicy is called pepper in Nigeria, and here in South Africa it is called chili. Yeah. So when you say pepper here in South Africa, they might not understand what you're saying unless those that have encountered Nigerians or something. But it's called chili here. When you say chili, they will easily understand what you're saying. And the other one, or the last one I will be talking about, is what we call suya in Nigeria. It's called braai here in South Africa. Anyway, suya is still very sweet. It's very sweet. It's not, but it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing. Maybe it's because of the spice they use in Nigeria. That's why the taste is a little bit different, but it's the same. So in Nigeria we call it suya, and here in South Africa we call it braai. So this brings me to the end of this video. If you want a part 2 of this video, you can write on the comment section, write down the things you want me to call their names in Nigeria. You write down their names in South Africa in the comment section. So this brings me to the end of the video. If you know you love it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Yeah. So till my next video, I remain Chioma Gloria or Chonogo. Do have a great day. Bye bye.